recording this video about the horrendous decision that Obama made to do executive privilege on the amnesty issue. In addition to all the horrible things that Obama has done, including record debt, record poverty, record deficits, record low participation in the labor force, our enemies are emboldened: China, Russia, jihadists, Iran. Our allies are all feeling alienated. He's gutted our military. We have all these horrible things that Obama's done to weaken America, and now he just completely violates the Constitution, is acting like an emperor. Now, I don't say that without a basis. He said it himself 22 times, that he has no legal authority to do what he did. He said to do so would be to be acting like an emperor or a king, and that's not the way he said that this country works. Congress passes legislation and then he acts. Well, he did the opposite in this time. He acted and then said, if Congress doesn't like it, then let them enact legislation. He did it completely backwards, and it's a very dangerous precedent. Now, to the issue of precedent, Democrats say, well, we got these 10 law professors that say it's okay. Well, it turns out they're all ultra-liberals. 3 of them were his colleagues at U of C. 1 was his mentor at Harvard. These are all buddies of his, and of course they're going to say whatever he wants. But law professors who look at this objectively see what a constitutional overreach it is. In fact, Jonathan Hurley, who's a very liberal law professor from George Washington, said this is a huge, dramatic constitutional overreach. The Supreme Court has already slapped Obama down 9-0 on another constitutional overreach, and he just did it again, and he doesn't seem to care. Well, then the liberals are saying, well, a lot of presidents do executive actions like this. But that's a completely bogus analogy, too. Those were minor executive actions based on existing congressional legislation versus this, which there's no basis of legislation. Nancy Pelosi then says, well, the Emancipation Proclamation by Lincoln was executive action. No, that was based on the War Powers Act, and he acted as commander-in-chief, saying it was a military issue to weaken the Confederacy. There was no basis in history for the kind of dramatic action Obama took here. It's a very dangerous precedent. And Democrats have got to ask themselves, I know you follow this guy no matter what horrible things he does, but do you really want a country in which one guy has that kind of power? Those are like dictatorships. Obama said it himself. It would be like acting like an emperor or a king. Is that really the kind of country you want? You got to ask yourself. Because someday there's going to be a Republican president. Do you want them to have that kind of power? You know, unfortunately, the framers of the Constitution didn't foresee a guy who's so narcissistic and so self-important that he just completely violates what the electorate does. You know, the people's representatives, the Congress and the Senate, there was an overwhelming vote by the American people 2 weeks ago saying we want the GOP to control the agenda, and Obama's completely ignoring it. He says, oh, well, 2/3 of the people didn't vote. Well, that's not the way it works in a republic. And besides that, if you actually look at polls and you ask the question, who do you want to control the agenda? Today, the GOP wins by 17%, a huge landslide in a democracy. Now, to the issue itself. Obama says, well, he's got compassion here. No, it's the opposite of compassion. America is based on law. And this is a complete upholding of the anti-law. These people came here illegally. Now, people say, well, we're a nation of immigrants. Yeah, they came here legally. Legally. Let these people stand in line if they want to come out of the shadows and do it the right way. You're rewarding illegal behavior. And what about those people who took the trouble to do it legally? In addition, you're encouraging and incentivizing people to come here illegally. We already saw that last summer. Obama has a completely lawless attitude towards the southern border. When Arizona tried to control the southern border, Obama Justice Department sued them to stop. And so last summer we had tens of thousands of illegal aliens crossing the border, including thousands and thousands of children unaccompanied by parents, many who brought diseases, who've killed Americans. And now we have terrorists coming across the southern border. What country on earth doesn't control its own border? Well, Obama doesn't want to. And, you know, you can fool me once. Okay, fool me twice, I'm an idiot. I mean, we passed legislation before in the 80s and other times, and part of the deal was to control the border, and we didn't do that, and that's exactly what the Democrats are trying to block today, any control of the southern border. Because the whole reason for doing this is trying to get more Democratic voters, to keep electing Democrats to keep ruining the country. That's basically what the agenda is here. Now, they say, of course, not to ruin the country, but obviously it is. Look at record poverty, record debt, record deficits, gutting the military. Our allies being infuriated, our enemies emboldened, the economy horribly weak recovery from a recession, just over-regulation, hampering business. It's just a disaster everywhere you look, and this is just going to exacerbate it. Now, why do you think it's compassionate to reward illegal behavior and to allow people to come across with disease and terrorists and to take jobs away from people who are here, born in America, legal immigrants? Why is that compassionate? It's not. It's the opposite of that. And so when you look at this any way you go, Obama was a huge constitutional overreach, violating the law, setting a terrible precedent, hurting people that are already here, celebrating, upholding, violating the law. These are all horrible dangers. And Obama is a rogue president, and the Democrats have to really think seriously about if this is the kind of country they want.